From dystopian mysteries to psychological thrillers, Apple TV Plus has some of the best shows and movies right now. Here are 10 you need to watch. Number 1. Severance. This is a sci-fi psychological thriller that was initially released in 2022. Mark works at Lumen Industries, where employees undergo a procedure that separates their work memories from their personal ones. He leads a team of workers who only remember their jobs while inside the office. When a colleague reaches out outside of work, he starts uncovering the truth about the company. Should you get Apple TV Plus exclusively for Severance? Yes, probably. Last year, I released a video about underrated mind-bending TV shows, and Severance was among them because, well, nobody knew about Severance, and I thought it was brilliant. Now, luckily, people realized that this was a gem and needed to be discovered, so you might have heard of it. Here are a few reasons why you really want to check it out. If you are a photographer, they use some of the best techniques out there. This is peak television, and photography, settings, lights, colors are all perfect and necessary to create the overall unsettling feel that the show has. This has also genius storytelling, and it's absolutely perfect for all of those who, after a Marvel release, for instance, go digging and look for Easter eggs and double check every single frame just to make sure that they didn't miss anything. Well, this is absolutely your show. Season 2 is currently being released, painfully, weekly. At least at the time of this recording. And each episode, just like in Season 1, is mind-bending, jaw-dropping, and confusing. You will be intrigued, freaked out, but also challenged and shocked, and you will want to watch the next episode. Severance is weird, and it might even have its own category because they label it as thriller, but it's probably the last word I would think of when I'm thinking about Severance. But it's so unique and whoa. Even though I don't agree with all their choices and I would avoid certain things, I still absolutely need to know what's going on in this show. So if you want to subscribe to Apple TV Plus now, just so you can join the whole fandom that is slowly growing around Severance, maybe this is the perfect time to do it. And while you're there, waiting each week for one episode, you might want to check out all the other shows and one movie that I'm listing here. Number 2, Foundation. This is an epic sci-fi released initially in 2021, and it's very loosely based on the Foundation series by Isaac Asimov. In a galaxy ruled by the Galactic Empire, humans live under the control of cloned emperors. When Dr. Harry Seldon predicts the Empire's collapse, he and his followers set out to create the Foundation to save civilization. The ruling Cleons, fearing the loss of their power, fight to maintain their legacy. Move over, Dune, House of the Dragon, forget about them. This show has incredible visuals. You will feel like you're transported to a new and epic cinematic world. We definitely need more shows like this, and I'm thinking about fantasy specifically, even though this is sci-fi, because we are lacking decent fantasy. And actually, I'm planning a video about this because it's really bothering me. But I've talked about Foundation again in my underrated mind-bending TV shows because not enough people are watching it. And I totally understand that those who read the books by Isaac Asimov are disappointed because in the end, Foundation doesn't really follow the books. Maybe it started like that, but now it's basically a whole different story, and so you might want to take it as it is. I didn't read the book, but I heard about all of this discussion, and I listened to those who read the books and who were disappointed for this. That being said, if you need more Lee pace in your life, just watch Foundation. Number 3, Silo. This is a sci-fi dystopian drama that was initially released in 2023, and it's based on the Silo trilogy of novels, Wool, Shift, and Dust. In a ruined future, people live in a giant underground silo with strict rules. They believe these rules keep them safe from the toxic world above. But the truth about their society and the surface remains a mystery. Since we just got season 2, the excruciatingly long wait for season 3 has begun. Back when I watched the first season for the first time, I immediately thought about City of Ember, which is a movie, because they do share a similar setting, despite having two distinct plots and vibes also, because in City of Ember you have teenagers as protagonists, and the overall tone is a bit more lighthearted compared to Silo. I will not tell you about season 2, of course, because I am not giving any spoilers here, but this show is hyped, and for a reason. Compared to Severance, this at least has books. And so if you cannot wait for the upcoming season, you might just want to read the books and then enjoy the show, which is something that we cannot do with Severance, and I'm really suffering. Number 4, Dark Matter. This is a sci-fi drama released in 2024 based on the 2016 novel of the same name by Blake Crouch. Jason is kidnapped into an alternate version of his life where everything is different. As he struggles to return to his real family, he faces a dangerous enemy. To save the people he loves, he must find a way back before it's too late. If I'm not mistaken, the story in the book had an ending which corresponded with season 1. So in theory you could watch the first season and be happy about it, but they left the show with potential for a second season, which would go beyond the book. And this story actually allows for a lot of exploration in a world of endless possibilities. You can see a theme by now, so I'm mostly recommending you sci-fi, because Apple TV Plus does it better than others, at least right now, and they really excel in this genre particularly, which is great for me. If you're not a sci-fi lover, I have a couple other recommendations too. Number 5, See. This is a sci-fi drama that was released between 2019 and 2022, and it made it to my best shows and movies of 2024, because that's when I watched it. In a distant future, humanity has lost the ability to see, and vision is considered a myth. Society has adapted to a world without sight, following new ways to survive. Everything changes when twins are born with the ability to see, threatening the order of their world. I would call it a post-apocalyptic dystopia, and in my humble opinion, this is genius. They use cool techniques and they find innovative ways to face the challenges of this world, which is not designed for visually impaired or blind people. If you loved Game of Thrones, meaning that you weren't bothered by all the gore, then this is definitely for you. I had to skip several scenes with the Queen, and that's all I'm gonna say about it. Number 6, Shining Girls. This is a sci-fi thriller from 2022 based on a 2013 novel, The Shining Girls. Years after surviving a brutal attack, Kirby realizes a recent murder is connected to her past. Struggling with a reality that keeps shifting, she teams up with a reporter to find answers. Together they uncover a deeper mystery that challenges everything she knows. This is mind-bending again. You really wonder what reality means, and you're not sure since the very first episode if you can trust what you see. I would recommend this to all those who love mystery and detective stories as well, because we spend a lot of time investigating, but also to all those who are hardcore sci-fi lovers, because there's something I cannot tell you in this show and that you might end up loving, but would be a spoiler if I told you, so you have to trust me on this one. Number 7, Bad Sisters. This is an Irish black comedy released in 2022 and based on the Belgian series Clan. The 5 guys Garvey sisters, bound by a promise to protect each other, live in Dublin. When Grace's abusive husband, John Paul, dies unexpectedly, they come under investigation for his life insurance. As secrets unravel, their loyalty is put to the test. I told you there was a different genre here. And this is funny, but being black comedy, it also includes dark topics. And to me, season 1 was nearly perfect, including the ending, so much that I thought there was no season 2. But then I realized that the reason why I was seeing Bad Sisters recommendations on the homepage of Apple TV Plus was because there was a second season, and so I watched that too. I didn't enjoy it as much as season 1. And so I was about to put it in my mini-series recommendations because, again, I thought season 1 was all we got and it would definitely work as one season only. And I think you will really have a great time watching it. Number 8. Dr. Brain. This is a South Korean sci-fi thriller from 2021 based on a Korean webtoon of the same name. A brilliant scientist suffers a tragic loss that shatters his world. Desperate for answers, he uses an experimental brain sync technology to access the memories of the dead. As he searches for the truth, the lines between his mind and theirs begins to blur. This series is the first Korean language show produced by Apple TV Plus, and I watched it because I was looking for something similar to Pantheon, and I do believe that you would enjoy it. So either if you watched Dr. Brain, you should watch Pantheon or vice versa, because they explore similar themes despite having completely different executions. This again would work for people who love detective stories and mysteries in general, because there is a lot of investigation. And of course it would be great for anybody who looks for a K-drama, but in the sci-fi genre. Number 9. Surface. This is a psychological thriller released in 2022, and we should soon get season 2. After surviving a suicide attempt, Sophie struggles to piece her life back together. A head injury leaves her with memory loss, forcing her to rely on her husband and friends for answers. As she uncovers the past, she begins to question the truth about her perfect life. Look up trigger warnings first, but I decided to watch this because of the protagonist. I love her, and I've seen similar concepts before, more than once, and yet this was still well developed, and I wasn't expecting a second season at all, because based on my experience with similar stories, which were actually movies, I thought there wasn't gonna be room for more, and yet there is. Number 10. Sharper. This is a psychological crime thriller movie released in 2023, and it's the only movie I'm recommending you because I haven't watched many on Apple TV Plus, and just recently I recommended Wolf Walkers to you in my underrated animation video, so I'm not talking about that one today. And let's see the plot summary. Con artist targets Manhattan billionaires, where power and deception rule. In a world of shifting loyalties and hidden agendas, nothing is as it seems. As schemes unfold, expectations are shattered, and the truth becomes a dangerous game. This has a great cast. It's intriguing because it has a bit of a mystery. You really don't know who to trust or how the story will develop. And I'm honestly happy that it was a movie and not a TV show, because it would have been tiring otherwise. But since I haven't watched many movies on Apple TV Plus, if you have any recommendations, please leave them in the comments down below. Now that you watched this, check out my mini-series recommendations video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.